World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where your host, Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery, is coming to you live from my hometown of Yonkers, New York. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic Tuesday. And guess what this is? This is the wrapping up of Financial Literacy Month. So we do hope that you have had a prosperous financial literacy month. We hope that you were engaged in our content and in our stories that we were telling. And we look forward to serving your financial needs as we move through the next couple of months, May, June, July, August. We want to congratulate all of our seniors of the year 2024 into 2025. Congratulations, seniors. You've made it. You've done it. You now can look forward to the next part of what your life is to bring to you. So again, a round of applause for all of our seniors of class of 2024 and 2025. Congratulations. I'm sure your parents are happy. I'm sure your family members are happy. And I, as an educator, am equally happy. I want to give Soul City Network a huge shout out for what it does for the community, for its opportunity that it has provided for me and other fantastic content providers on their website, on their social media or on their platform. And we're doing it here, folks. We are doing it. My name is Tyrone Glover. I'm a credit expert. You can clearly see that this is Leverage Credit Recovery. If you need to get in touch with us, leveragecreditrecovery.com. So, with that being said, I would like to jump right into our content. We're doing a boot camp. We're going to help you understand what you need to do in order to make your life that much more productive. So this is going to be a PowerPoint presentation that's going to set it off for you, and hopefully it will take you into those spaces and places where you need to go. Take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of your financial understanding. Get in front of it now, because if you do, I'm telling you, you seniors, I'm telling you, you juniors, you sophomores, you freshmen, get in front of these situations now. Do the things that you need to do, because life is not going to slow down just because you're moving into a new direction. Become financially fit, become financially stable. So today's topic that we're going to be talking about is own your financial future. And this is a boot camp. So sit down, get that notepad, get ready to take some notes, because we're going to be going through this information. And if you ever, I say it all the time, if you ever need any of these PowerPoints, if you ever need us to share our information with you so that you can present it, we're open to you presenting it. We're even open to us presenting it. But nevertheless, we want to make sure that you get this information out there. All right. So as I said, today's topic is own your future, financial freedom. This is our very first boot camp. So let's do it, folks. Let's make it happen for everybody out there. All right. So building generational wealth and stability from 7 to forever. We're talking about from age 7 to forever. Age 7 is where you should have been starting your kids off with getting them comfortable with money. with getting them comfortable with the understanding of how they're going to maneuver. Age 7. My 6-year-old nephew, who I adore and appreciate, his 12-year-old sister, who I adore and appreciate, all of my nephews and nieces who I adore and appreciate. But nevertheless, start them off early. Get them engaged in these conversations now, right this minute. Because if you do, guess what you do? You set them up for financial stability. Knowledge is wealth. Ownership is freedom. Knowledge is wealth. Think about that for a minute. Knowledge is wealth, and ownership is freedom. So let's make sure that we're creating that ownership, that we're creating that knowledge base for our youth to have the things that they are going to need to have. If we stand in their way, guess what they get? They get nothing. And it's our job to make sure that they have that secure foundation to keep maneuvering in the spaces in which we may not always think that it's important for them. It is very much important. We know what's going on in our world today, and we have to break that cycle. All right, so I have a small little video there that I'm going to show you in just a minute, but let's take a look at the welcome and the overview. All right, why you're here today, what will you learn, and how this will change your life. So welcome, everyone. You are about to embark on a life-changing journey. Today is not just another workshop. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you take full control of your financial future, because money matters. Ownership matters. Your future matters. So let's get it started. Today, you'll learn the basics of money, credit, investing, budgeting, and generational wealth building in a way that it is easy to understand and even easier to apply. Let's think about that again. Easy to understand and even easier to apply. We'll break these down by age groups, because building wealth is a lifetime journey. No matter your starting point, you belong here. Again, that is key for anyone who thought that you were not worthy, that you were not entitled, that you were not privy to this information. For far too long, too many ethnic groups have been left out of this conversation. And in 2025, we need to make this part of a daily understanding. I've said it before, and I'm going to constantly keep saying it. Rich people talk about money all the time. Why is it that in communities of color, we are not even introducing that subject matter? We need to break down these barriers. We need to break down these walls so that we can build the futures that we want. We don't need to be subjected to another narrative. We don't need to be subjected to oppressors' version of what we should be doing for ourselves. We got to get in front of this information, and we got to make sure that it doesn't just stay within our silos, but that we're also sharing it amongst our communities, amongst our friends, amongst our neighbors. Do not think that you are the only one who deserves this. We all deserve it, just like, again, past generations. But I'm going to pause on that video right now, because I would rather you at times in which you are, because I don't want to really disparage or give any type of promotionals to anyone. But I did find a wonderful video on VOX, which is a platform that I use on a regular basis to get very much information. I love it. I think it's great. But as I say, I would rather the individual. So if you would to type in your Google browser, why financial literacy education in the United States sucks. Why it sucks. It's pretty sad. That video is very informative. It's very informational, and it's really, it's something that made me prompt myself to really put this boot camp together. So I want you all to now take a little bit of a understanding. Go back to type that down, write that in your Google browser, or write that down on a sheet of paper. I hope you're taking some notes, but write that down. Why financial literacy in education in America sucks. A great video. I put it up there so that you can get the information that you need, but it is a great video. It is awesome. Go through it and then come back for the next session and build upon your financial literacy education. Build upon it, because I'm telling you now, if you do the things that you need, you're going to have the results that you are seeking. So the problems we face: financial illiteracy stats. Only 24% of young people have basic financial literacy. Okay, come on. I've been talking about this with my students, and it's nice to see them engaged. It's nice to see the ones who fall asleep too, because I get to tap them on the shoulder, like, what are you doing? This fourth market period. How are you sleeping during the fourth market period? You better get awake, wake it up. But again, 24% of young adults have basic financial literacy. Goes back to what I had said before, this control, this ability to be able to put you in a box and keep you there because they know that you're not literate enough to move out of that box. Ladies and gentlemen, this is overdue time for us now. Let's raise these numbers. Let's do what we need to do. Racial wealth gap numbers. Blacks and Latinx families still own less than 20% of the median wealth of white families. Come on now. We're living in 2025. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Black and Latinx? What are we doing? We have to decide what's more important, stuff or, I like to say, not liabilities, but assets. What's more important, stuff or liabilities? Assets are things that you can hold on to and they grow over time. So why are we not thinking about those things that we really should be focusing on? We're not doing it because we're not literate enough. We got to break these cycles. We got to change the trajectory in which we are heading. And if we do, I'm telling you, everything we want is going to be on that opposite side of our education or our understanding. So we're only putting up the roadblocks for ourselves. We're doing the work of the oppressors. Over half Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency. That's something that I just still to this day will not be able to comprehend. But I do understand it. I know how we got here, and I'm asking you, everybody who can hear my voice, everybody who can see my face, I'm asking you to decide what is more important, your livelihood or the stuff you have. And I would have to honestly say it's the livelihood. Because if you look through those closets, I know you got a bunch of white outfits for the white parties. I know you got a bunch of blue and black and green and all kinds of outfits, but yet you're still out there putting more stuff into those closets. You can't turn those things back into real money because they have depreciated. So it's really important to now figure this all out. Should you have more than $400 in your accounts for an emergency? I think you should. I hope you're understanding by now these are the problems that we face. And the only way to change these problems is to continuously have the conversation. So real world consequences. The system has failed us. Period. Hands down. The system has failed us. But we're not going to let them stop us. Think about that again. The system may have failed us, but we are not going to let them stop us. Real world talk, real world consequences, real world. All right, so why financial literacy matters? So first and foremost, personal empowerment, family stability, community strength, and national economic power. Yes, it empowers. It gives you back that control. Financial literacy isn't just about money. It's about power. The power they use when you're not financially literate to control you. The power that they use to make sure that you are, as I said, in those boxes, in those places and spaces where they believe you're not worthy, you're not deserving of. Let's break those cycles. Let's change the trajectory in which we are living. It's about freedom. When you master money, you master your destiny. The oppressors currently right now are mastering your money and they're mastering your destiny because they're dictating in which direction you're going to go. Financially strong families build strong communities. We are going to be hosting an event coming up here on May 17th. We'll talk more about it as we get closer and closer to that date, but we're going to be pulling up a chair in Getty Square. We're going to be taking our information to the streets. Strong communities build strong nations. We've watched over the last 100 days as an individual who's now occupying that White House has done some of the most egregious things that I myself can attest to and say, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've never seen anything like what this current administration has done. They have put incompetent individuals in places and spaces where they don't belong. They have had security breaches. As a soldier, I know about security. I know about national security. And they have put people in places where they're compromising. They're undermining the judiciary. They're overstepping the three branches of which the government is supposed to be checking and balancing. And all because of why? Strong families aren't sticking up, aren't coming to the understanding of, wow, we create strong communities. Strong communities aren't coming to the realization of the understandings that we are the ones who create strong nations, not businesses, not those who have oodles and oodles and oodles of money. They don't do it. We do it. And it's now time that we push back, that we become financially literate so we can allow for the very same monies that they use to buy power. We can start using that very same money to take it back. There's more of us, less of them. More of us, less of them. And we are seeing it firsthand that you can't just buy whatever it is that you want to buy. Thank you, Michigan, for setting that tone. And I hope that other states start following Michigan's lead. Thank you to those lawyers out there that are pushing back, because the judiciary is what's going to literally put us back on the pathway of protecting our democracy. Don't let me get started, ladies and gentlemen, because I can definitely get started. All right, so this boot camp's objective is by the end of the boot camp, you'll learn, understand how money works. We hope that you apply, build skills to manage, invest, and multiply your money. We hope that you grow, you create a plan for financial success, and we hope that you lead, inspire others to do the same. Let's talk about that one more time, okay? I don't think you quite heard me because it got real crickety out there. We hope that you walk away with a learning of understanding how money works. We want you to apply, build skills to manage, invest, and multiply your money. We want you to grow, create a plan of financial success, and most importantly, lead, inspire others to do the same. We are a community, ladies and gentlemen, and a community is what's going to pull this nation closer and closer together to being the democracy that we want, versus this, whatever it is, autocracy or oligarchy, or soon to be, if we don't pay attention, dictatorship. So, building generational wealth and stability from age 7 to forever. Here we are, section number 1, age 7 to 14, money basics. So where are my youngins at? Parents, go out and get them youngins, nephews, nieces, where y'all at? Cousins, everybody who's in that age group, y'all should be pulling up right now, pulling up a chair right now in front of moms, dads, caregiver, loved ones, grandparents. Everybody go ahead and get them 7 to 14-year-olds and tell them to come on in, because this is for them. All right, so what is money? All right, so we could have put up, and I was meaning to add that in there, but nevertheless, I will, for the next setting, have some fun cartoon images and an infographic, because this is going to be a boot camp that's going to continue. But if you want these are something that you can do for yourself. So the activity, where does money come from? Let's start with our youngest future millionaires. Let's teach kids about money early. Where does it come from? Does it come from a tree in the backyard? Does it come from that machine that mom and dad always go to? Does it come from an employer? Where does this money come from? Well, it comes through your work. It comes through what you do and how you commit yourself to that understanding of being responsible with how they have given you the opportunity. And what you do is go out there and you execute at the highest level possible. So when you start teaching kids about money early, they then have a head start. They have a head start in front of every single child that does not get this early on education when it comes to money. And that starts where? That starts in the household. That starts right there where mom and dad have allowed that youngin to go to the store, pick up a little bit of this, pick up a little bit of that, come back with the correct change. That's where it all starts. So we'll focus on basics, what money is, how saving money works, and a little taste of investing. I'm going to talk about these things because young people today need to know that there are tools, that there are resources, that there are online activities and online financial opportunities that are going to be there where brick and mortars might have failed, online is now picking up the slack. Where academia might have failed, individuals like myself with Leverage Credit Recovery and Yonkers Young Entrepreneurs are bridging the gap. It's now overdue time for our young people, our middle-aged people, our individuals between that middle age and that senior are now where they need to be. And if they're not, this is now the time frame to secure that understanding. All right. Thank you very much, Val. And Val is saying, I'm sharing this rich information with my family community. Great info. Thank you. Well, thank you, Val. We so appreciate that comment. And please, more people engage with us. If you have a question or concern, definitely. We want to thank Val for sharing that information because, Val, you're doing your community and you're doing your household a true service. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Much applause to you and yours. Continue that successful journey. All right, so interactive budgeting games. There are interactive budgeting games out there. There's a game called Spent. That is one of the best games that I have ever played. And I gave it as an assignment to all of my kids. And what they walked away with was amazing because I don't think you can really live successfully off a month with $1,000. Now, some of them did it. Some of them did it, and I was rather surprised, but they learned a valuable lesson. There's another piggy bank exercise out there, which me and another colleague had seen, where you can get it's a box, and it's got different quantities of money on it, and you can start putting money in those various boxes, and over a year or over a time frame, you can watch how much you've saved by yourself. Again, you might be thinking, well, shouldn't I put it in an investment, or shouldn't I put it in a savings? No, let's start at home first. Let's start at home with these little opportunities that we can create in our own spaces. Once we have a little bit of resources, then we can take those resources, then we can get with professionals and then find out how do we put those into a great yielding item, something that's going to get you a good return on that investment. We got to stop finding ourselves in other spaces where those returns are not as lucrative as they should. You got to remember, people who are using your money are making far more money off of it and only giving you a small return in it for your money. We've got to be smarter with that. All right. So imagine you have $10. You can either spend it on candy today or save it to buy something even better next week. Choices, choices, choices. And if you were anything like me when I was growing up, I spent the whole $10 because I had no understanding. Today, you know what I do? I only spend $2. $8 of those dollars is going into something that I know I'm going to need for a much later time. So I'm getting wiser, I'm getting smarter, I'm getting savvier to do more with my money because I'm going to need it as time goes on, but I want to make sure that that money is growing at a great rate. All right? This is the first lesson of wealth. Delayed gratification. Ooh, I like that. I like that. This is the first lesson of wealth, delayed gratification. Get that big payday after you have rewarded yourself, but don't spend the whole 100%. 20%, 10% is fine. It's more than enough. All right. Save first, spend later. Let's say that together. Save first, spend later. Your future self will thank you. I'm telling you. I already know that it will because it's thanked me many a times. And it's thanking me currently right now because I'm doing things far more smarter. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I just started in January of 2025. I started to make that transitional change because the last 10 years, guess what I did? I was living crazy. I was living reckless. I was doing the things that I knew I should not have been doing. And I kept saying, well, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll make it up. I'll do it. That's never going to work. So you have to understand you are your biggest challenge and your biggest competition. And you have to get out of your own way first. So start applying these. You can do it now, but let your children understand they should start it equally with you right now. Both of you, all of you, put yourself on that same understanding. Find you some of those interactive budgeting games. Get you one of those piggy bank exercises and start putting 5, 10, 15. Label it in whatever category you want to label it. and then start putting $5 in that one drawer, start putting $10 in that other drawer, start putting $20, and so forth and so on. Label those drawers, label those envelopes, however you want to do it. Save first and spend later. So how banking works? Here's a simple explanation. All right, real simple. First, you have to decide which one of these entities are you going to use first, a bank versus a credit union. Why saving matters. So how banks work. Banks are financial institutions that act as intermediaries between people who have money, depositors, and people who need money, borrowers. Now think about that. It didn't say nothing about, oh, the bank's money. It said people who have money, depositors, and people who borrow money, borrowers. They didn't say anything about, oh, this is the bank's money. So think about that for a second. You're putting your money in. Other people are putting their money in. It's a housing location. And when you go to borrow, you're borrowing other people's money. So it's mind-boggling to me that a bank gets to make a profit off of housing your money, while you get almost nothing back in return. So here's how this function is in simple terms. So we take deposits, meaning the banks. You deposit your money into a savings or a checking account. The bank pays you a small, again, a tiny, a infinitesimal little tiny piece, the amount what they call interest, 0.01. If you're getting 2% APR, I'm surprised. But if you are, congratulations, you are doing something that the rest of us are not doing. But if you are getting 2% APR on whether that be a checking or savings account, congratulations to you. What do they do with that money after it's in those deposits? They lend money. The bank loans you money, loans your money to others for mortgage, cards, credit cards, etc. They charge borrowers a high interest rate or a higher interest rate of 4 to 20%. Now, this is being generous. Okay, that 4 is for someone who has a good credit score, but you can probably even borrow it less than that. But that 20%, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that is up to 28%. And it used to be higher. It used to be as high as 39%. But the one thing that I can say our Congress did do, they made sure that they brought that down too, but only to an understanding that keeps us still in that unworthy category of being able to borrow. All right. But nevertheless, that's what they pay you. Okay. That's what they pay you, not you, meaning you. That's what they pay themselves. And then they give you back what we had said up top, that 0.01. They don't give you what they charge others. That would be nice if they gave me 4% for lending my money or keeping my money in that institution. It would be nice if they gave me 20%. They're not doing that. But this is how the game is set up. This is how the game is orchestrated to make you think that you're getting something when in all actuality, they're just holding that money in that bank account. All right. Profit for the spread. The biggest difference, the difference between what they earn, which is in loan to interest, and what they pay, which is savings interest, is their profit. Their profit. Now, it's funny that they call it their profit. That's technically not their profit. That's your profit. And this is going to help you with hopefully creating leverage. You need to leverage your understanding that you are smarter, wiser, savvier, so that they don't continue to keep taking your winnings. All right. So other services that bank offers, bank also make money from ATM fees, overdraft fees, account maintenance, and investments. But that ATM fee, be careful with that. You'll find yourself taking 20 out the ATM machine and then getting hit with another $8 to $10, or if not a little bit more, depending on where you are. That overdraft fee, ladies and gentlemen, overdraft fees are back up to $39, right? $39 for an overdraft fee. That's insane. That is insane. And I think Congress needs to step in and stop allowing for these entities to rob and steal and plunder. And I'm still Bank of America, Chase, TD Bank, all of you brick and mortar locations. I'm still trying to figure out, what are you maintaining? What are you really maintaining? Because I don't see nobody cutting my lawn on my bank account. I don't see nobody cleaning my windows on my bank account. I don't see nobody doing the things that require a maintenance charge to begin with. You're making more money off the overdraft fees. So all of this, what you see right here, the ATM and the overdrafts and the account maintenance, that's all extra profit, even though they're getting enough profit off of this right here. Banks are, in my opinion, they're kind of like loan sharks. They use not their money, but other people's money, and they operate almost exactly like a loan shark. And it's now overdue time for us to get smarter, wiser, savvier, and realize you have leverage. Whether it's $1 in there or $1 million in there, you have leverage. And I think it's now time for you to start exercising that. All right, so we got the difference between a bank and a credit union, the features, banks, credit unions, the ownership. So the ownership are for-profit shareholders, which is the bank, and a nonprofit member-owned, which is the credit union. You have the purpose, maximize profits, serve members' needs, which is credit union. Banks are maximizing their profits off of, again, think about this, your money. They're maximizing profits over your money. Credit union service members' needs. We got rates. We got low savings rate, high loan rates. Again, your money. So your money is going in there and it's receiving low savings rate. But when you, meaning not you, you can't give people your money out of the bank. But when the bank lends your money, they're charging a much higher interest rate. And all of that goes back into their pocket for the most part. And that's the same thing with almost a lot of these investment vehicles that are out there. They offer better savings, meaning a credit union offer better savings and loan rates, which they do. Gotta give them to them. Gotta give it to them. But they are just as strenuous when it comes to those borrowing terms, because you have to have, on both of these types of situations, you have to have almost exceptional credit before they even think about giving you other people's money. But they'll be treating it like it's their money, but they will put you through the ringer. All right, so the fees, more fees at your banks, fewer, less strict fees at your credit union. Access, more branches, ATM, fewer locations, but their shared networks exist. So the shared networks, hopefully that should be where you're not paying more in fees, meaning if you go to one shared network, that when you withdraw from an ATM, you shouldn't get multiple charges. And watch those ATM withdrawals, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's a bank or a credit union, because the ATM itself will probably hit you with a fee, and then your bank equally will hit you with a fee. So be careful, understand how or what type of relationship you're getting in when you're either with a bank or if you're with a credit union. So best for banks, convenience, tech features, and global access. And credit unions are best for better rates, low fees, and community focus. So why savings matter? Emergency funds cover unexpected expenses, car repair, medical bills. Financial freedom lets you take risks, career changes, and starting a business. Compound growth. Every small saving grows over time. It grows kind of slow, but we're going to take that into consideration because we're just starting out for our youngsters. But as you get much older, again, that should be growing a little bit more, or it should be growing at a better rate. And what I mean by that is by your interest rate. You should be getting more on the borrowing that you're giving the banks. You should be getting more in return on that borrowing. And then the big purchases, down payments for a home, vacation, or education, less stress. So this is why money savings matter. Less stress, money in the bank, peace of mind. So here's a small little tip for you, right? Every $20 a month add up, $20. Use high yield savings accounts or CDs for better growth. Now, both of those, the high yield savings account and the CDs, again, you're in charge of these. And I know that there are some stipulations to all of these areas, but find yourself a professional certified financial planner or a fiduciary, somebody who knows this space inside and out. I'm just glancing over it, giving you an understanding of how our 7-year-olds to our 14-year-olds can get this basic knowledge. And this is all this is right now, basic knowledge. But the more you get more advanced, the older you get, the more that you're going to definitely reach out to those types of professionals who are going to be able to help you. And when you know something, you're going to be able to see through the minutia, or sometimes the okie doke, as I like to call it. All right, so we're introducing intro to financing. Fun. If you've invested $10 at age 10 and forgot about it until you were age 65, how much could it grow? Well, let's assume that you're going to get a 7% interest rate. All right. Let's assume that that's compounding annually, and clearly from 10 to 65, that's a 55-year difference. So let's do the math. We're going to be using the compound interest formula. The formula basically goes the period, or excuse me, the price, which is $10, times the rate of interest, which is 7%, plus, or excuse me, times the amount of years. All right, really simple. The price times, or again, remember, you're going to be adding a 1 to that R, which is your rate, times the time. All right, the amount of time that you're going to be spending, or excuse me, saving that money. So after crunching the numbers, we're going to take 1.07, which again, that's the rate. We're going to be multiplying it times 55, which is the amount of years that you're going to be saving that. And ultimately, you walk away with how much? $52.70. Now we have to multiply that times the original $10, and look how much we end up saving over that time. Now, you may think $527 is not a lot, but imagine if you kept adding more money to that. You kept adding more money to that. That's just $10 that you forgot. Imagine if you did that in multiple situations where you took $20 or $100. As you get older, you add more money to that. Think about that over time. Again, what I want you to walk away with is that you forgot about it, and 55 years later, you had some money in there. All right? But simple math, simple understandings. Don't overcomplicate things. Take it in the manner in which it's presented to you. All right? But your biggest takeaway, your biggest walk away is this right here. How do you add that up? How do you make that make sense? All right? There it is. Remember, there are formulas, the compound interest formula. And that will help you with understanding how much money you should be generating over a period of time. All right, so now we're going to move on to that next age group. Okay, where are my 15 to 21-year-olds? Where are my 15 to 21-year-olds? Make some noise out there, 15 to 21-year-olds. All right, there you go. I hear you. Thank you. So we're going to be talking about building independence. For our 15 to 21-year-olds, now we're talking to you. So our 7 to 14, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for partaking, but stay. Don't walk away, because eventually you will be 15 to 21. So join in the conversation now, the 15 to 21-year-olds. All right, so what's important for you? What are the things that you should be looking at? You should be looking at Credit and Banking 101. So credit scores, we're going to explain a little bit about what a credit score is. So credit is your financial reputation. It's how lenders, landlords, and even employers judge your, what are they judging? They're judging your reliability. They want to make sure that you're okay, that you can do what you say you're going to do. And that starts in the household first and foremost. Just because mom and dad ask you to clean that room and then you don't clean it, that goes, again, to show, are you responsible? Are you accountable? When mom and dad give you the task to do in that household, take out the trash, wash mop the floor, make sure you watch your brother or little sister or whatever the case may be. This is your first opportunity to show whether or not you're responsible and that you can be held accountable for certain things. Okay, so some key points or some key tips. A credit score is like your GPA of money. All right, it's your grade percentage average of money. Always pay on time. Do not, no matter what goes on, always pay on time. Now, I know sometimes it's only possible to pay that minimum, But if it's possible to pay it, pay it. Do not go right back out and use it immediately because you have to wait 5 to 7, sometimes up to 10 business days for that to hit the credit report. If it doesn't hit the credit report within that 5 to 7 or 10 business days, you're on the phone calling. Hey, what's going on there, credit company? How come you haven't updated my credit report? All right, keeping a low balance. A low balance means keeping it under 30%. If I max out, I got to bring it back down to a certain understanding. That 30% is going to show the industry that you are someone who can use that borrowed money and then pay it back over a 30-day month, and you can be responsible for it. Only borrow what you can repay. It's not that challenging. That's it. Only borrow what you can repay. Start off with small amounts. Do not go out there trying to get a $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 credit card. That's not wise. It's not smart. In these unstable economic and employment situation timeframes in which we are residing, that's not very intelligent because you never know what could happen. All right. So how to open your first checking and savings account? Real simple. Go to your location and say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I would like to establish my first checking and savings account. They're going to ask you some questions. They're going to sit you down. They're going to might give you a cup of coffee or some water or some juice or something of that nature. They're going to be very friendly with you. And once you get those things, you are well on your way to establishing financial understanding. Remember, you already got it at home from mom and dad because they gave you chores, they gave you responsibilities. So they taught you and put you on a pathway. Academia has failed because it's not even introducing any of this. So it's going to be up to institutions like mine to help bridge that gap, but I'm already giving you the first steps. Go and get a checking account and a savings account. Prior to you getting that job, make sure you have a checking account and a savings account. Once you have that job, then make sure you have direct deposit, right? You want your monies going directly into your account. You don't want to get a physical check to have to take it to a third location, which is that third economy that operates out there, which is your payday loans or your check cashing places. I'm not going to say that they are bad places. It's just that it's an economy that too many of our people are subjected to using. So we have to think more strategically in that manner. Okay. But a checking account and a savings account should be the first things that you open, and it's not that challenging. So everybody 15 to 21, please make sure again that you have and that you are operating in that manner, because now you're probably someone who's going to be looking for a summer job. You're probably someone who may already have a summer job, or you might be someone who's already gainfully fully employed. All right, so let's keep it moving. Student loans and debts. How to be smart about college debt. All right, we should not be finding ourselves with hundreds of thousands of dollars in college loan debt. I went to school in Europe. I was so lucky, so blessed that not only did I go to school in Europe, not only did I get the degrees that I needed, what did I do? I was able to secure a job by the college in which that hired me, I was going to, or I was attending to. They were able to secure me a job, along with going to school, teaching me and funding me at the same time. That's I don't know why the richest nation on the face of the planet can't do the exact same thing. All right, debt can build you or bury you. Which one would you like? Being responsible about your debt could build you, understanding that I don't want to take on too much student loan debt, because guess what it can do? If I do end up taking on too much student loan debt, it can bury you. Knowing that job, and again, numbers that are out there are staggering, that 70% of individuals who have gone to school haven't even finished their degree because of the fact that the jobs or the institutions in which they were attending, those costs just became too much to bear. Or something happened in the family that the individual had to now break away from the academia and go back home to take care of that ailing parent or that ailing family member. So take only what you absolutely need. If you need to take a back seat to that education, take a back seat for a little bit. But I would always tell everybody, check off that checkbox. Apply for scholarships and grants. Scholarships meaning that they're going to give you because you have aced your academia understanding. Grants are things that the community and also nationally, and there's some federal programs that are out there as well that will guarantee you money. All you have to do is apply for them. So don't sit around thinking that these are not for you. You are also entitled and worthy of this information or scholarships and grants. Understand loan terms before you sign anything. If you're not sure, pause, take a minute. Say, you know what, I got a guy or I got a gal, let me call them first. You don't have to rush into anything. Now you got leverage credit recovery. Now you got Tyrone, as Erykah Badu has told everybody, call Tyrone if you're in need. So call me, let me know. Reach out to somebody in that household, in that family, in that circle of friends, and ask them those particulars before you sign on that line. But reach out first. Do not get pressured into doing something that you know your gut is already telling me, nah, you know what, need to take a pause. Don't rush into things. There's no need. We came to this country in the 1400s. We don't need to be settling in 2025. Remember, borrow smart, not just fast. Okay, remember that. I'll say that again. Borrow smart, not just fast. So what are scholarships and grants? As I said, scholarships are items that if you have academically excelled, whether it be in an academic setting, whether it be in an athletic setting, they're going to give you money because they want you part of their academic overall process. So use those for what it's worth. Focus on, as I tell all my students, that your preparatory stage is where you set the tone for outside organizations to say, whoa, wait a minute, we might want this person. We might need this person for our academic facility. And grants are just another way for the community to say, hey, you know what? You've done a good job. Apply for the grants, $1,000, $500, $2,000, $10,000. That's free money. Don't think just because you're African-American or you're Hispanic or you're Asian or you're Middle Eastern or even you're Caucasian that you're not entitled to this information or these types of financial pluses. I'm going to call them pluses. Things that will help you not to have to take on large amounts of student loan debt. We are already hearing some egregious things, in my opinion, that should not even be happening, but we're hearing it. And I think there's going to be some repercussions for a lot of people that might get subjected to what we have heard. And I don't want to put any negative information out there, but ladies and gentlemen who have student loans and those student loans have been forgiven, be careful. Keep your ears to the pavement. All right, keep your ears out there because I heard some things that I'm not happy with hearing. And if it does come to fruition, I hope it doesn't. I hope the courts do step in and say, sorry, sir, but this executive order that you just passed, no, unconstitutional. But keep your ears to the pavement, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a student loan and it's been forgiven. So side hustle, making money young. Side hustle. Probably thinking, wow, do I really need a side hustle? Yes. If you're someone who can make a flyer, if you're someone who can put together an outfit, if you're someone who can tutor someone, if you're someone who can do a variety of different talents that you already possess, you are never too young to build wealth. So start a side hustle, tutoring, content creation, flipping items. All right, these are all little pieces that you never know might turn into your ultimate life-saving opportunity. All right, now that education has taken a little bit of a back seat, people are now looking at, is there a possible way where I can tutor someone? A lot of families and a lot of parents are saying, oh, well, public schools or charter schools or whatever the variety of different educational facilities that are out there, they still need someone who can help their student with earth science. They still need someone who can help their students with calculus. They still need somebody who can help their students with social studies, with the reading, with the mathematics. So think about that tutoring if you're that good. All right, content creators. I'm doing a pull-up a chair event, and guess what I have my students doing as a project, creating flyers. I think it's awesome because it allows for them to use the variety of different tools that are out there for kids to understand AI is not going anywhere. So the smarter and the more intelligent you get about how that all works, guess what you become? You become an asset. Flipping items. I just told you, the white items that you got in the closet, those black items, those blue, whatever, as much as you have that's been worn once or twice, well, then hang it up, launder it first, obviously, hang it up, put it on the hanger, and have you a couple of yard sales. Get you one of those rolling racks, put it out there. Trust me, those items will flip. Open an investment account. Yes, even $10 counts. Even $10 counts. Start looking at starting something first and leaving it. Do not touch it. This is not, oh, I'm going to put it there and then 30 days later, I'm going to take it out. No, that's not investing. That's just having somebody hold something for you. Investing is you leave it there and you watch it grow over time. All right, so learn skills that can pay you for life. Coding. For me, coding is the new laboring, but nevertheless, don't let anyone steal your intellectual property. Laboring was the exact same thing. They just changed it up. All right, when you went to work for a company, you were a laborer. You used their technology to create your intellectual property. And then unfortunately, those companies told you, well, hey, we got your property because you used our technology and now it's theirs. Questionable. Coding is the exact same thing. So be very, very careful. Marketing and real estate. All right, learn these skills early. Learn them now. Get in tune with those types of things now. These are money building opportunities. All right, money multiplies faster when you start younger. You got that right? Money multiplies faster when you start younger. And entrepreneurial basics. Some of you have already shown me just in Riverside High School, just in Gordon High School, in the variety of different schools that I've been privileged to be in. These young people have shown me, now today's young people are more boisterous. They're more in your face. They're more opinionated than ever before. I've never seen a generation this out there. But you know what I like about that is that they're not afraid. They're invincible and they want leadership. They want guidance. So as you young entrepreneurs get out there into that world, the basic thing that I can give you, be humble. Be open to learning. Be open to listening to those of us who have this gray in the chin. Why? This is wisdom. This is not just old. This is wisdom. And I've noticed that if we, the younger generation and the older generation, come together, that's that synergy that scares the rich. That's that momentum that terrifies them because they think we're coming after them. We're not coming after them. Y'all got what y'all got, and it's yours to keep. We're just saying the jig is up. We know what you're doing. And if we work together, if we come together, youth as well as wisdom, the age comes together, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. $1 trillion economy, we're going to be better than good. All right, so now that I've talked to two groups, I'm now moving on. And you know this is probably going to be a two-part series. So I'm hoping that you come back next week to finish this boot camp because we're not nowhere near done. We're now each reaching age group 22 to 35. So the 7 to 14 to 15 to 21 and now the 25 to 35. So I should have 3 age groups sitting in that living room or wherever it is that you're sitting. And those 3 groups should be looking at each other saying, did you get that? Did you get that? Now it's your turn. You're about to get something too. 22 to 35-year-olds. We're about 8 minutes out. I want to thank Val for his question. And if there's anybody else out there who may have a question prior to this wrapping up, go ahead and drop it in that box and let me go ahead and answer it for you. So day trading, uh-oh, here comes that scary word. Here comes that word that people are intimidated by. Day trading, I'm going to tell you right now, day trading is a skill. You can think whatever you want. You can be as intimidated by it. You can think it's a scam, but now you know what I say about scam, right? Still confused about money. That's what I say about scam. Still confused about money. Guess what banks do with your money? They trade it on a regular basis. They trade it on a regular basis. Those CEO bonuses that come from or that go to JB Diamond or that go to the CEO of this company, that company, or whatever. That's money that has been traded through a means in which too many of us are too afraid to even introduce themselves to the concept Day trading is no joke at all. It is a serious skill. And if you want to understand something, you're going to be in a world where you're with the intelligent, smart, the bright people who are trading all day long, the millionaires, the billionaires who have used systems and tools to build platforms that make their money make money over and over and over and over and over. This is what the stock market does. It trades, it day trades. And day trading is buying and selling stocks or options within the same day. They do it on a consistent basis, Just because Apple puts out an iPhone, do you think they're making all of that money to become trillion-dollar companies just off selling a product? No, ladies and gentlemen, no. Do you think Microsoft only became Microsoft another $3 trillion company all because it sells computers and OS systems, operating systems? No. Do you think Amazon became a $3 trillion company or close to $3 trillion all because it sells the stuff? No. It sells that stuff and it puts that money that it makes off of the profit, clearly overpriced profits, and it puts that money into a financial institution. And guess what those individuals in that financial institution does with that money? They trade it. It's important to understand that's how money makes more money, through compounding. I can go on and on and on about that, but nevertheless, I'm going to pause right there because you can clearly see that's a heated subject and a heated topic for me, because when you think something that's so lucrative like day trading is a scam, oh, they've done exactly what they needed to do. They keep you in those compartments to let you think that, what, I can't learn this? I'm not worthy of this? Every single person, you must learn how to day trade. So start small. Use a stop loss order to limit risk. Never risk what you can't afford to lose. Learning to trade smartly can build serious wealth, but discipline, hear that now, discipline is the key. And you can start with something as low as $50. But again, I'm not advocating for you to become a day trader. What I'm advocating for you is to learn how to day trade. Learn what people are doing with your resources. Learn what people are doing with your resources. Let 98, 95, 90% of your resources do exactly what they've been doing. And I need you, as you get more skilled in this unprecedented skill set, once you get more skilled in it, watch what those returns look like when you start taking 2% or 5% or 10%. And as I said, you learn what they're doing with your money, and then you're going to start seeing, oh my goodness, my 2% is surpassing my 98%. My 5% is surpassing my 95%. My 10% is surpassing my 90%. That's the game, folks. That's the game. And they're keeping you on the sideline because they don't want you in the game. But once you get in the game, oh my goodness. All right, so budgeting for success, the 50-30-20 rule. Need, want, savings. Need, want, savings. Budgeting is freedom, not restriction, following the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs. Your number one expense is going to be your living need. So 50% of your money is going to those needs. There's no getting around that. Needs, that living expense, that dwelling that you live in, 50% of your income is going right to that. And you can add your utilities, you can add your other items that will support that household, but 50% of that's going right to those needs. 30% are going to your wants. And I think you are to be very, very strategic about those wants. Do we need to spend that full 30% on the wants? You might want to be a little bit careful and start taking some of that. Again, that's where that said that 2%, that 5%, that 10% could come from those wants. And you can still live comfortably with, again, 27 or 28% or 25% or 20% satisfying those wants, but learn how your money is supposed to be working for you. And then 20% of savings. Savings and investing. Track your money. All right. Track your money equals control your destiny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap this up. I'm going to go all the way to the very end. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for making time. Make time, ladies and gentlemen. Come back next week as we wrap this boot camp up. We want to thank you. Drop us a line. Contact information 805-428-9424. Call Tyrone. Send Tyrone a text. You got my number. You now have it. You want to send me an email, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. And we use this system called Linktree, where, as I said, we're still in the process of building out our 2 new websites, Leverage Credit Recovery and the Yonkers Young Entrepreneurs. And you can find all of our content and other important things that we'd like to share on our Linktree. That is linktr.ee/leverage credit recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, I love and respect what I do, and I appreciate all of you for making time to give us the opportunity to present something to you that I believe if you get in front of your financial situations, it's going to not only allow for you to live the life that you want, but if you start your youth off early, guess what you're going to do for them? You're going to set them on a pathway to success. I want to thank Soul City. I want to thank our producers. I want to thank Val for dropping that question in. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, I wish you and yours happy financial literacy conclusion of April, the financial literacy month. And I wish you and yours all the best in your travels. America, as always, be safe, America.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.